What's going on YouTube? It's your boy, Remy Exotic.
It's your man, This Legend.
And we are the Cosmic Critics. You know the vibes. Today, we have something special.
What we getting into?
Shang Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings.
All 10 of them, baby. Come on now.
Yeah.
10.
And this movie just hit Disney Plus recently. So we just felt like, we had to get it out there. We had to break everything down for y'all, for those who haven't seen it yet. And don't forget, we are giving away tons and tons of free shit, right?
Yes, we are. Listen to what I'm telling you, baby.
Listen.
Because at 100 subscribers, we're going to give away 10. Okay, just like the ring.
Not one.
10, not 2, not 5. 10 of those tickets to the Spider-Man No Way Home. Okay.
But wait, that's not it. On the 5th video, guess what? To every subscriber and liker and commenter of these videos, we give out free giveaways like gift cards, knickknacks, collectibles, merchandise, free stuff.
But in order to get this free merchandise, gifts, cash, prizes, you have to do what? You know it. Like, comment, and subscribe. You better know better, baby.
The big red button.
Come
subscribe.
on. Subscribe down below. It don't hurt to support, baby.
Don't understand. Show love, nigga. It don't show nothing. It don't cost nothing to show a nigga love.
I was just getting money.
Show a nigga some love, nigga.
Wabbity dabbity.
Without further ado, let's jump on the Cosmic Wave.
Alright, so we open up the movie with a little bit of backstory on Shang-Chi's father. And we see his history with the rings. He's been alive for thousands of years. And the rings promote that. They give young life.
More life, yeah? More life.
So they gave him all this life, and he's been in the background fighting wars, running the 10 rings, and even though it's been tried to be appropriated, he's really been calling the shots all along, right? So what we get to is Chi's father and Chi's mother coming into a fight. And because he didn't know that Chi's mother was a descendant of Talon, the sacred city in a pocket dimension, she was handing that to him.
She was embarrassing.
She was giving it to him. We see that she knows how to control the rings. She has some kind of sauce that has these rings on 10.
Right.
Literally. Really? They're flirting the whole time. We come to find out that Shang-Chi's dad actually retired the rings. He decided to start a family.
I'm out, Rico. You understand what I'm saying? Look at me.
Alright, so we pick up with Shang-Chi as a full-fledged adult. He's living very below his means in San Francisco, of all places.
San Francisco.
This place keeps coming up.
Yeah.
You know, Shang-Chi is not what we thought he would be. Instead of driving the fancy cars, he's parking them. You feel me? With his man's Cake. And these two, Chi and Cake, they out here having fun, living life. However, their friends don't believe, they're living up to their full potential.
Haters.
And we know that Chi, of course, can't be living up to his full potential. We just saw the backstory and who your daddy was. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, this all leads us to the most
invigorating.
Come on, man.
The best scene in the movie, if you ask us. The bus scene. The bus scene where we had so much action flying left, right, up to down.
Here's why I like that bus scene. My boy Cleve.
Cleve, man.
They brought him back.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, Cleve was in Spider-Man Homecoming, okay? He told Spidey, do a flip! Yeah! He told him, do a flip! And so Cleve is back. He's live streaming this fight that Shang-Chi is getting into.
And don't forget.
Now here's what threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Alright, and I thank New Rock Stars for pointing this out. Now, if you look closely into that live stream, you will see Auntie Darkness. Okay, comment Unreal.
Unreal.
Now, who could Auntie Darkness be? We're going to leave you with this.
But we can't give you that right now. We'll talk about that in a later video.
Yes, let's get into this fight scene.
Yeah. So we open up the scene with Razor Fist and the henchmen pulling up on Chi. And typically, like the comics, Shang-Chi's dad always sends henchmen of the 10 rings to capture Shang-Chi for many different reasons. But this time, they're after Chi, and they're also after the necklace that's on him, the green amulet, which we'll talk about later on, that has a huge part in the whole movie. But we see Razor Fist giving the unfair ones to Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi is living up to the potential that we've been missing.
Ain't he?
Man, he's pulling moves out, the Jet Li bag, the
What's that?
Jackie Chan. That's right.
Man.
But ultimately, we find that Razor Fist succeeds in his mission in capturing that amulet.
Still got his ass whooped, but succeeded.
He did, but he won.
So immediately from the bus, we see Kate. She's like, Shang Chi, who the f are you? You had all these motherfuckers just, ravage the bus. Who are you?
It's beyond us.
Shang-Chi ain't got no words. He says, we have to get on this plane. Kate says, I'm going. A real ride or die. While on this plane, we get a little backstory about Shang-Chi's childhood after his mom dies, okay? And from what we've seen, his father was real tough on Shang. It was a real hard knock life. I mean, Shang was training vigorously for years, okay? We had our man's Death Dealer.
Death Dealer was a dog.
I didn't really, Death Dealer is really putting the fist to Shang-Chi's neck every single day.
Ruthlessly, though.
Ruthless. And it's crazy because in the comics, these two brothers are friends, okay, until things go awry. But in this movie, it was none of that, all right? And in the background, we also see that Shang-Chi's sister, Jay Lee, is training. Okay, but she's training secretly because her father believes that women cannot train. So as Shang-Chi becomes, I believe it was 15 years of age, his dad says, hey, it's time for you to go out on your first mission and probably the most important mission of your life. Okay, we see that he sends him off up until Karen interrupts the scene.
Karen.
Okay. She decides to ask if they want, beef or vegetarian. They ran out of the vegan so it's only the beef option, but she keeps asking the question.
If you don't get that bull out of my face, bitch.
Marvel, I'm so irritated. Y'all irritate the out of me with that.
They had to throw a Karen in there somewhere. Alright, so following the plane scene, we head our way to Macau, which if you're familiar with Cyberpunk, it's a futuristic looking city. A lot going on here. We didn't get to see too much right now, but I'm sure we will later. We fast forward to the Golden Dagger Club, where Chi and Kate run into John John. John John actually works for Chi's sister, which we'll find out later. But since Chi went viral for busboy, whooping cats on the bus, you know what I'm saying? Macau wants to see this guy on the main stage. As we're walking through the club, we see a lot.
Yeah, man.
A
lot of heavy hitters that we've seen in Marvel before.
Which we can't get into right now, but we'll talk about more who was in these containers and who was in these cells later on. But the biggest fight of them all was Abomination versus Wong. That was crazy, right? And we didn't expect to see Abomination ever again since he came from the first Hulk movie. But we have a big, huge theory about what Abomination is doing here and what Wong is doing with him that we'll talk about in another video. So, it turns out, she actually pulled up here to his sister's club to fight her. We see her hand him the business, you know, and it was crucial.
But we understand why. He left her, essentially, for dead.
It was built up.
Come on,
It was a built up ass whooping. But we come to find out, she didn't actually invite Chi here. It was a plan by Wen Wu to get both of them in the same place to acquire that other necklace that they had. We see Wen Wu and the 10 Rings taking over the Golden Dagger, and we also get blessed with a reference of Kung Fu scaffolding action. And if you know like I know, that was one of my favorite scenes from
Rush Hour 2,
Rush Hour 2.
Watch out! Behind you! Huh? Behind you!
I don't know if Marvel watched it before they wanted to create this movie, but thank you for putting that in there, because I was in that bitch geeked.
It was a classic. It was a classic. So then we follow up to see Chi and Death Dealer getting finally a fair ones here, right? And it turns out Chi had a lot of built up anger himself because he almost took Death Dealer out the game. But luckily when Wu came in, he stopped all of that. He grabbed the pendant from Death Dealer and he took Chi and his sister and Kate back to the 10 Rings base.
Which this place is locked and loaded. I mean, it's the mansion on the hill.
This the real 10 Rings.
Come on, man. The army is waiting for him as he gets off the chopper. All right? And Wen Wu, he doesn't give me that evil vibe as they try to portray in this movie. He gives me more of a welcoming, like a
Open
dad
arms.
who made some mistakes but is trying to get his family back together. The gang and Wen Wu have dinner. At this dinner that they have, Wen Wu talks directly to Kate, giving the family backstory, giving his backstory, and how many people have perpetrated his persona.
Just like the comics, where he had many names that he went under.
Wen Wu also takes another turn, which is even more shocking to me in the movie. Wenwu is actually hearing the voice of Ying Li, his late wife and Shang-Chi's mother, okay? He's hearing this voice, and the voice is saying, hey, Wenwu, come to this gate because the people in Ta Lo got me behind it. And they f***ing with me. And Wenwu is like, I gotta go save my baby mama, the love of my life, from behind this gate.
As
like,
he should.
As he
right?
should. You
Am I
know what
wrong?
I'm saying? He wants his wife back. He wants his family unit together. As
Mm-hmm.
we know, when his wife died, the family broke. He wants that solid thing, which I feel like anybody could relate to.
Exactly.
To be honest.
All of
with
us.
you. Now we figure out why Wenwu wanted those pendants
Exactly.
that Shang-Chi and Jay Lee had. These pendants map out the road to Ta Lo, okay? And this is not an easy road to get to, so this map is very important.
Because it's a hidden dimension
Yeah.
somewhere that we haven't discovered yet.
This map only opens once every year, okay, for like 15 minutes, all right? And so Wenwu wants to get to Ta Lo. He wants to demand his wife back, and if he doesn't get his wife back, he's going to bust everybody's ass up in that bitch. You feel what I'm saying?
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
But Shang-Chi is not with all that violence, neither is his sister, surprisingly. They don't agree with it, in which Wenwu says, hey, I could do it with or without you. Lock him up. And that's just, in fact, what he does.
That fast.
Come on. Now, I knew something was going to happen. It has to happen. They just can't be locked up in the cellar.
Yeah.
They hear something. Who they hear? Trevor.
Trevor, the Mandarin.
The Mandarin, man.
And you'll never see me coming.
We haven't seen Trevor since Iron Man 3. Real fans have seen Trevor in the Marvel short called
All Hail the King.
I want to give the world exactly what it's been crying out for. Your dead body laid out on a goddamn slab.
Hey, Cracker. What's up?
Oh, it's the fan base. Kiss my rings, bitch.
Come On Now. And we see Trevor, he looks tired. He looks like he's been through some things, but he looks alive. And you know that's what we want him.
And you can't forget about Morris.
Morris. Morris is a Daijing, okay? It's a creature that brings around confusion and chaos, kind of like Trevor does, as we've seen, okay? Morris tells Trevor to tell Chi that, hey, I could lead you to your mama's village, okay?
Wait, what a 19% chance.
That's a very small
You gotta
percentage.
sprinkle the 19% on top.
But I could lead you there before your daddy get to the village.
That's true.
And that's all we need.
That's true. So, we begin our journey to Ta Lo with some crazy mystical force that's closing on them, and they're pushing all the way through until we get through a clutch portal similar to Doctor Strange's sling ring portal. And as we enter, we see tons and tons of mystical creatures, and we also see something similar to Morris in the field just vibing. You know?
I don't like them little Morris looking.
They are something else.
Man.
We make it to Chi's family finally, and Master Bao was not messing with him. Ying Nang actually went and taught Chi his full potential and shown him what he was meant to do.
Yes.
Protect the universe.
She brought that fighting style because Chi was a little bit more hands-on.
Exactly.
And she said, hey, open that up.
We also hear Ying Nang talk about your universe, which us at Cosmic Critics believe might have something to do with the location of Tai Lao. And like in the comics, how Kang City is hidden somewhere in the multiverse, we believe the Tai Lao version is actually planted maybe somewhere in the multiverse. But that's something we'll have to find out later.
With all this preparation, you know, the gang is getting prepared to meet with Wenwu, and, you know, this epic battle will take place. And during this preparation, Shang-Chi kind of has his own revelation about his past, specifically with the death of his mother. Now we get a visual flashback of what happened that night, okay? So Shang-Chi's mother was met by the Iron Gang, okay?
And they came fisticuff ready.
They came deep, and no, this is one woman against about 23, 24 men, okay? And let me tell you this, she told them kids, hey babies, go to sleep. And she took care of at least the 15 of these. You know what I'm saying?
She put 15 to sleep right with them.
Right with her, man. She was going in and out up until she met with the Lord Jesus Christ. And, you know, we see Wenwu, you know, walk up to the house. He sees all this carnage. He sees his wife is deceased. And Wenwu ultimately blames himself because he took those rings off, and if he had them on, he may have been able to defend her. But in a very crazy perspective, he also blames Shang-Chi for just standing aside and watching his mother die, which Shang-Chi was like,
what was he gonna do?
7. Like, what was he going to do? Throw a Lego at the Like, what was he going to do?
Throw a nunchuck.
Wenwu then decides that he needs revenge, and I can't blame him. He takes Shang-Chi along with him so Shang-Chi can identify the people who killed his mother, and they go to a bar in which they see those people at the bar. Wenwu whoops they ass.
And I'm talking about a extra large can of whoop ass.
Wenwu had no mercy.
And it was all for nothing.
It was all for nothing because the leader of the Iron Gang wasn't even at the bar, which, let's rewind. Remember when we told you that Shang-Chi had his first, only, and most important mission of his life? It was to kill the leader of the Iron Gang. That's crazy as hell how that... Now, initially, Shang-Chi told Kate, I couldn't go through with it, so I ran for the hills and ran for America. However, in this scene, he tells Kate, I lied. I sliced... He didn't say sliced, but he did say he killed whoever killed his mom.
I shot the sheriff. So we come to the climax / ending of the movie, where we see Chi's gang and the descendants of Tai Lao protecting the realm versus Shang-Chi's father and the Ten Rings coming in to take the realm, right?
Right.
It's an all-out battle. Shang-Chi's dad hops right to the cave where the King's Soul Sucker is. Shang-Chi pulls up, however, and we see him come full circle with all his powers and potential. He's starting to adopt the fighting style of his mother. He's opening his hands in combat. We see him ready to go and take down Wenwu in the 10 rings like that.
You feel what I'm saying? Here's what I like about that. You feel what I'm saying? Because Wenwu was whipping this ass.
Tearing him up.
But when Shang-Chi got that flow together and made them rings blue... Wait, no. He changed them from blue to yellow.
Yeah, Chi absorbed them.
Right.
Made them yellow.
We ain't seen no like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Nah.
Wenwu couldn't do it, but Shang-Chi could. You feel what I'm saying? And what I love about this scene right here is that Wenwu, he acknowledges the fact and he said, you know what? I'm all tapped out of the game. And sacrifices himself and gets his soul sucked out.
Stop. What do you mean by that?
He gets killed by the King's Soul Sucker. Damn, that's a horrible name. But he does die. You feel what I'm saying? He does die. The main villain of the movie now, which is the King's Soul Sucker. Now, this King Demon, King Soul Sucker, whatever you want to call it, is getting the best of Shang-Chi and the little mystical dragon that is trying to save Shang-Chi. Okay? We see that the Demon Soul Sucker has to it's a horrible name, has the dragon by the neck and is, sucking the dragon's soul. You feel what I'm saying? But we got our girl Kate, back on the foreground, and she sees this and she decides to shoot a little lucky arrow.
It was like a game-winning shot. She pulled the trigger, cash money. I couldn't believe it.
It was a lucky shot, which, if you think about it, Kate saved the day, but we'll save that for another time. Kate's arrow ends up distracting the Soul Sucker, which allows Shang-Chi and the dragon to get a little upper hand, and Shang-Chi pulls a Dragon Ball Z GT, I may add, Kamehameha from the sky, almost like Jesus a little bit, and blasts this Soul Sucker off the map.
And he aimed for the head.
He did aim for the head. That is crucial.
That's the most important part.
And so Shang-Chi again saves the day, and it becomes a basically full circle moment.
Full circle moment, yes. We see Shang-Chi and Kate go back to the friends that they met earlier in the movie, and their whole story is coming full circle. They breaking it down, they rubbing it in their face, as they should, when you got some hating ass friends.
But the hating ass friends don't believe him.
They don't believe him,
You told me to go out here and get a job, and I just saved the universe, and now you don't believe me.
And if it wasn't nobody that could confirm what they did,
who was it?
Wong.
Yeah.
Wong pulls up. He shut shit down with this post-credit scene that, everybody didn't understand at first. I didn't see it coming either. We come to find out that Chi and the rings actually set off a beacon once he took them.
Yeah.
When they turn yellow, he set off a beacon for somebody to find out that the rings have been activated. And we don't know where that's from.
Who that is a lot of speculation. It could be Kane, which is unlikely because they'd be contacting the original owners of the rings in the comics, the dragon race of those niggas. Or it could be it could be contacting, which people have been saying, but I don't really think has no correlation to the rings, Galactus. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
We're gonna find out in the future, but y'all can leave again those comments at the bottom.
Now, we don't know where they coming from in the MCU because, like we said, Marvel will Marvel. They're known to twist stories, and they've twisted this entire story through a loop that we've never seen before.
Yeah, we've seen that.
So if you have any suggestions on where you think these rings are coming from, please leave them in the comments. In the next post-credit scene, we see Chi's sister, Jay Ling, now becoming the leader of the 10 Rings. We see John next to her, we see Razor Fist, and this only tells us that we will see her again.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of speculations we hearing is that we won't only see her just in Shang-Chi 2, but we'll see her throughout the MCU in the oncoming years.
Yeah.
And that could be in shows, that could be appearances in movies. As we said before, Marvel will Marvel. So, you know, I can see her coming in the future very soon. All in all, Shang-Chi was a great movie, man. All the hand-to-hand combat, all the action, everything. I think here as Cosmic Critics, we can easily put that in our top 10. It was one of the better origin stories. I think they did a good job of teaching us about the past and bringing everything full circle and just leaving a cliffhanger at the end for us to be excited for more.
Yeah,
you know?
I would agree with that.
And if you have any comments, concerns, or think you might know something that we don't, leave a comment underneath this video, subscribe to the video, like the video, and we'll have more to come. But next time, catch us on the Cosmic Wave,
baby.